Hey everyone, welcome to another video of the Nameless Thing. So today we're taking a look at the holy grail of modern comic books. We have with us Invincible issue number 1. Now guys, Invincible has exploded in recent times guys. The comics were already a very big hit, and because of the low print count they are in severely high demand, and ever since the web series started about 5 years ago and now season 4 streaming out, this character's popularity has only grown to be one of the most notable heroes in pop culture. Invincible has definitely got to be the representative icon of superheroes from the 2000s when it comes to original superheroes, I mean. Now, I have seen stats for issue 1 where it goes for crazy amounts of obscene money when it comes to 9.8. Last time I heard it went for something like $66,000, and that is, I think, the all time high. And I still think it's going to keep climbing, guys, because, like I said, this is the holy grail of modern era comic books. So, as more and more series goes, and once the live action movie comes out, although nothing has been announced, but it's not going to be far long since some producer will decide to make a live action movie of this. That book is only going to keep on climbing and climbing. I know for a fact that I most probably will never come across a issue when it was printed that's a first print because of the low print count that it has. So what I have here with me is the free comic book day version that was released in 2020. This was done mainly around that time to also promote the show that was going to be released shortly afterwards. So as you can see, this whole animated style is exactly like what you see in the animated series, and this is an unstamped version over here. Now, guys, I have to be honest, I have not read this story of Invincible for a very long time. It was only this year that I decided to take a look at it because I saw that there was a lot of hype for this character, and I was like, okay, what's going on? Maybe there has got to be something good about it that people are hyping it so much. So I sat and read all the 144 issues, and I binge watched all the 3 seasons so far to catch up. And yeah, I really did like it. I mean, I can finally see why people are liking it. And although I do feel that it's like a kind of a bizarro version of Superman and the Kryptonian world. It's not lazy. I'm not trying to say that they just took some lazy idea or they're trying to do a ripoff. It is genuinely good and I enjoyed it a lot. And having read all the comics, I can only more and more excited for as the series goes. Now I know they've taken a few different creative liberties when it comes to making the animated series, but I still think that they're staying true to majority of the source material, and I am so excited for what comes after this. I mean, we just saw in last week's episode the rematch between Conquest and Invincible was so hard, brutal, and gory. And yeah, it was pretty gory when I read it in the comic book, but to see it on the animated series was pretty violent and messed up as hell. So, without further ado, let's take a look into this book, guys. So guys, this book is from Image Comics. It was written by Robert Kirkman, and the artwork was being done by Cory and by Bill Crabtree. Although about 10-12 issues later, Ryan Ottley came in and he also became one of the co-creators of Invincible and a very prominent artist for the series. I really hope I meet both of these creators someday and get a sign by them on this book, and hopefully maybe a remark of Atom Eve as well. I know a lot of people will get the remark of Thrag or Omni-Man or of Mark himself, but I think a remark of Adam Eve on this cover would be really awesome. What about you guys? If you guys had a copy of the Invincible one and was getting it signed or remarked by the artist, who would you get it remarked by? Or would you just prefer a sign over a remark? So guys, as you can see here, I have the book out of the bag and the board, and it is a very nicely presenting copy. Now you probably can't see it from here, but there's just one small crease over here and there is a slight bend, but only if you really look very close in it, and also if you're like probably holding it sideways when you're flipping open the pages, and maybe that time you can see. But otherwise it's really good, and maybe I think a good pressing would make this crisp and clean. And anyways, I'm not a guy who's so bothered by the grade, or I'm collecting this for grades and the pristine conditions. As long as it's a readable copy that's not too beat up, I'm satisfied with that. And this book looks pretty clean in my eyes. Now, one thing that I noticed when I started reading this series initially, and with the start of the series, the starting few episodes is very different from how the book goes, and obviously the narrative style was a little different in the first season itself compared to how the first few books went. And also when I was reading the book, I thought, wow, the art style has changed so much, because actually, to be honest, I started reading this somewhere in between, like around when Mark came back to meet Eve and when she was pregnant with their child, and then I went back to the first and started reading it as a whole, and I just observed like, wow, the art style has changed a lot. Like in the early 2000s, as you can see, this is Cory Walker's art style, and then much later it was Ryan Ottley's art style, which was more defined and had a lot more texturing. And this is not a bad art style, obviously, but you can just see the distinctive nature from how it is like maybe 20-30 issues later to how it was in this first issue. So basically, in this issue, we see that Mark Grayson gets his powers and then he tells his father, who's already a superhero going by the name of Omni-Man. And at this point, he doesn't really know what or his father is. I mean, he knows he's an alien, that he's a Viltrumite, but what is his true mission? He doesn't know that yet. And even as an audience who's reading this for the first time, no one really knows who or what his father's motivations are. We just know that he's an alien from a different planet and he has a son, Mark Grayson, who was also now finally getting his powers that he's inherited from his father. And then he gets this new costume and decides to call himself Invincible. And as you can see here, we have the different formats in which you can collect the entire Invincible series. You have the trade paperbacks, you have the compendiums, and you also have the ultimate collections. And quite recently, if I'm not wrong, they also released an omnibus of the Invincible. And I think the first omnibus collects about the first 45 or 46 issues or so, with a few other team up issues like the Marvel Team Up 14 and a bunch of other stuff where Invincible also showed up outside of his own series. So for people who are big time omnibus collectors, that is a great way to go about collecting this series. And you have a few pages here giving you the exclusive first look of the animated series from season 1 back in 2020 when was this was being launched, because this comic book came during the free comic book day, and I think shortly after that the series was also launched. So you have some of the character designs and some of the reviews about the show that was going to be coming out soon as well. And it's great to see how much the style of the animation has also improved from the first season to now. I was pretty impressed with the animation style from season 1 itself, but it's gotten more refined and more cleaner as with each season comes out. One of the big things that has been settled recently in debate is the color of Omni-Man's suit, because in the series it's like a whitish grey color. Then Ryan Ottley posted recently on his Instagram that the color was supposed to be like a sky blue, a light blue, like how you see over here, which was a very big debate. Now obviously people like it in the white and grey color. I myself like it in the white and grey color, but there's an official artist, so if that is the vision that they had for the character, that is the way. But anyway, since we're already making a series that has a little bit of creative liberty, we can just go on with the white and grey anyways. And I always found it funny how Nolan is just looks so much like J. Jonah Jameson. Like, I know J.K. Simmons is voicing him, but even before I sat and watched the series and knew that J.K. Simmons was voicing Nolan, the very first moment that I looked at his face in the animated series, I was like, doesn't he look like J. Jonah Jameson if he went to the gym? And I just remember how funny that was. And it was amazing seeing Nolan's arc from the first season to the fourth season to where he is now. The growth has been amazing, and I cannot wait to see Mark's growth as well till the end. I really hope the season keeps on going until they reach the end of the 144th issue. So that was just a quick flip through this first issue, guys, and let me know your thoughts about this issue in the comments below. Now, will I sit around and collect each and every single issue of the Invincible series? Most probably not. Now, like I said, there has been very low print counts of this, and I know there may be a few reprintings and you might get a few exclusive covers when you go to some Comic Con or some convention where these artists come up. So you have all that, and maybe I might pick up 1 or 2 issues at that time, or if there is a signing and they have a copy there, I might pick up that. But I won't necessarily be going around and collecting this entire series because I know that's going to be pretty expensive. And for those of you who don't know, I have started my own series where I collect all the first 100 issues of the Amazing Spider-Man, which is going to be an expensive affair. So far I have only 3 issues. It's not like I've made a very big breakthrough in the series, but I still have 3 issues and I need only about 97 more. And I really want to prioritize my spending more for that than the Invincible series. I probably might collect the omnibuses once the entire 144 issues are completely printed. I'm anyway satisfied by reading most of my comics digitally, so I know I can just go online and read them. Would you collect every single comic, or would you just collect the omnibus, or are you also satisfied just reading it digitally? I hope you like this video. If you do, you can hit the thumbs up button and you can share this with your friends. You can subscribe to the channel to stay tuned for more such videos, and I will catch you guys next time.